For Castle Hill, and this will be the last private member statement before we move to consideration of the electronic petition.
Thank you, Mr.
Member for
Speaker.
Castle Hill.
Speaker, I rise to advise the House of a very serious problem for residents living in an apartment complex in Kellyville. The complex is serviced by an embedded network operator known as WinConnect. For those members unaware of what an embedded network operator is, I can advise the House they are nothing short of extortionists. The apartment complex in Kellyville was built by the developer Top Place and has had several problems in regard to building defects, which is common with this particular developer. However, the apartment complex has much more serious problems with the company who provides electricity and gas. The constituents are already being charged for electricity, water and gas, which is normal. But on top of these charges are additional charges by WinConnect for the heating of their water. Incredibly, one resident was charged $10,000 for 18 months of water heating. Other tenants are being charged $400 per month for the heating of their water, with one resident charged almost $2,000 for the heating of their water when they have only been charged $67 for the water that they have used. These residents have refused to pay for these outrageous charges by WinConnect. I place on the record that I could boil a kettle and provide enough hot water for an average apartment and it would cost nothing like $2,000. At a time when our New South Wales government is putting downward pressure on the cost of electricity, embedded network operators like WinConnect are forcing costs sky high and significantly increasing the cost of living for families. In looking further into how these networks operate, I've come to the simple conclusion that WinConnect are operating a complete scam, taking advantage of a muddy regulatory framework and overcharging for a shameful and deceitful service. The charging for the heating of water by an embedded network provider such as WinConnect is nothing but a licence to print money, but at the expense of unsuspecting consumers. The decent owners and tenants of apartment buildings, just like the one in Kellyville, were never alerted to the significant additional costs involved with an embedded network operator such as WinConnect when purchasing or leasing their apartments. This problem of embedded network operators charging excessive fees for items such as heating water has been a problem for some time, and it must be stopped. And the only way to stop it is to completely regulate this unscrupulous industry. There have been a number of cases which have been successfully defended in the Supreme Court, but governments at both state and federal level must take immediate action to stop this financial gouging of innocent consumers. The Australian Energy Regulator states in their own retail guidelines that the sale of bulk hot water cannot be considered a sale of energy. This is absolutely correct and means embedded network operators like WinConnect are ripping off consumers with fraudulent charges for heating water. The Australian Energy Regulator also states the current exemption framework suffers from an inadequate compliance and monitoring regime. The meter used to measure bulk hot water in each building unit is a water meter and not an energy meter. Therefore, it is unclear which metering requirements are applicable and if the energy metering regulation would then apply. It is therefore likely that consumers are paying high or inaccurate bills for hot water because of these external factors, unquote. I rest my case. The cat has well and truly been billed regarding the atrocious activity by embedded network operators. Furthermore, the AER have also stated the Commission started the review of regulatory frameworks for embedded networks, which was completed in December 2017. From this, the Commission found that the exemption framework is no longer fit for purpose in the face of the growth and number and scope of embedded networks. The current framework does not strike an appropriate balance between innovation, consumer protection and facilitating consumer access to retail market competition. As well as this, the New South Wales Civil and Administrative Tribunal, NCAT, has stated that the way bulk hot water service is metered does not appear to meet the requirements of the Residential Tenancies Act. The question thus needs asking, if both these government authorities are aware of the significant issues related to embedded network operators, why has nothing been done to address these concerns on behalf of consumers? Origin Energy has now purchased WinConnect and are financially benefiting from this sham. Unfortunately, without the proper regulations put into effect, we will only see embedded network operators become even more brazen in extorting thousands of dollars a year from unsuspecting tenants and owners of apartments. The New South Wales Department of Fair Trading must immediately act to fully regulate embedded network operators in this state and protect innocent consumers from the thousands of dollars they are being ripped off. Both WinConnect and the Department of Fair Trading are now firmly on notice. Fix this problem and stop embedded network operators ripping off their consumers.
It being 4 p.m, private member statements are interrupted for the